G'day traders, and welcome to wrap up the markets for Wednesday the 6th of November. So let's bring across the daily chart and we'll start there and have a look at where we are in relation to the longer term markets. And you can see, we're still trying to punch higher here and heading towards our highs. And at the moment, sort of really slowing the markets down or providing tighter ranging markets, which happens as we approach these highs. And what we're doing is just looking for some sort of pullback, which will start to increase the width of these markets. As for support and resistance areas, here's the 15-minute chart. So you can see at the moment we're still fairly much in a sideways channel, which we did for about last week or so. We've popped out of it now leading up to today's market. And as we're approaching today's market trading, we're talking about this particular area here. So this is the channel that sort of held the market down, and all of a sudden we're popping up through it and see if it can hold as a support area, which was resistance, now becomes support. And as you'll see when we bring up the 1 minute chart, it did get through the area a little bit, but it's pretty much has held in the end. So let's have a look now at the shorter term markets. So you can see down here the major support resistance area that the markets came down and eventually has found support at, and from there they've pushed higher. We've got the box here too, so we call this the pre-market box or the power box, where we put a bracket around the most significant high and low points. So definitely can see a high point here at 10 o'clock, and as far as the low side, we've found support down at this level here. You can see the markets come from higher left. It's not as obvious swing point, but we can certainly see that's the lower level there. So start off with the markets, they pushed higher, and the ES looked like it wanted to go higher here, but if you sort of glance your eyes across the other markets, you can see they're really resisting. They're not pushing higher than where they opened the market from, and as a result, these other markets on the left hand side, what we call support markets, have eventually pushed this market down and have come down to the other side of this pre-market box. From here, this is where they got a little bit of a bounce, and then they have broken lower. But as we come to the other side of this pre-market box, you can see by this stage now momentum had certainly got to the downside. The other markets right from the get-go were trying to push these markets down by showing that first of all not wanting to go higher. Then as we came to this point here and then come back, broke through this area here, you can see how the other markets are already breaking through and busting through this area, thus showing that they really want to try and go lower. Okay, but this lower move hasn't lasted for too much longer, as eventually they run into this support and resistance, and we're just looking at and waiting around this area to see what they want to do. In the end, they started all, let me slide across, spiking back or hitting back up to the upside, and eventually that's where they've gone. They've headed back within the range here. Pretty much gone sideways through this lunchtime period, so from 12 o'clock through to 1:30 on the chart time, this area here. You can get slower markets. Just because that tends to be when the traders have their lunchtime breaks, and as a result the volume really reduces. In this particular case, we've had pretty much a very slow afternoon, which is what will happen when we've got these tighter ranging markets. So when we're at the highs, like I showed you on the daily charts, sometimes you can get some decent action in the morning, especially if it starts to break outside these pre-market boxes. You can get some action. But then when it comes to the afternoon, it really slows off, and it's mainly because traders, I guess, try to get their trades done and get everything done within the morning period, and it slows off within the afternoon. So that's a wrap up for Wednesday, and we're back to do it again on Thursday.